Welcome to Nintendo Ninja News. I'm your host, Chris Dices, and we're here to talk about small YouTubers and their pitfalls and failings and things like that. It's a murky area since YouTube changed their policies and cutting people off at 1,000 views and 4,000 hours of content to be watched on channels each year. So our demonetization day is coming up in the next couple of weeks. So there's been a lot of movement by small YouTubers supporting each other and doing sub for subs and things like that. I'm not really big into that. I have subbed to quite a few channels in the last couple of weeks because some of the channels are actually quite nice, and maybe like to look at how they do things and things like that. So it's always good to get a bit of a spread of things, of different channels. Now, I've been giving some advice to other channels, and I'll be honest, some have been good, some have been not very good at all. And I'm a small YouTuber myself, but I feel like Nintendo Ninja News is much more organized than your average small YouTuber because I have worked out a plan from a long time ago. Now, I spent probably a few months, probably about 3 to 6 months before I do the YouTube channel. At the beginning of 2015, my plan was to do a podcast. I did that for 2-3 months, and during that time, I was looking into YouTube and seeing if the podcast show didn't work out, I would do YouTube. And then I started doing YouTube with a plan, doing just a small amount of videos and just doing news updates. Then I mastered that craft of doing news updates, and then I went into opinion type stuff. Then I moved into reviews and then going outside with a video camcorder. So there were sort of stages of moving about. Now, I'm just thinking, what's the advice that I can give? Now, after giving some advice to certain YouTube channels and things like that, some of the things that I noticed is none of them have a plan. Most of them don't have a plan when they start doing a channel. They do it for shits and giggles. They do, oh, we'll do vlogs or something like that. There's no real plan. And a lot of the time you see that the banner is empty, the social media links is bad, the video content is all right, but it doesn't really stand out from the crowd. It's interesting when they complain they don't get views and subs, but they don't interact on social media, they don't promote anywhere. They honestly believe that if you just upload it on YouTube, it's just going to get thousands of views. But there's millions of videos uploaded every year. So, you know, it's hard to... It is very, very hard to beat out that competition. So, for example, some people have Facebook pages, but people know with that organic growth of Facebook pages, barely anyone will see those Facebook pages because you need to pay up and boost your posts. So a lot of small YouTubers think that, you know, starting a Facebook page would be good. I don't think so in this current environment. The reason why Nintendo Ninja News has one is we're nearly pushing 1,000, and it's actually working for myself. And we do live videos and things like that. We have more of a conversational type thing instead of me just playing a video game and sort of half ignoring you. That's Twitch. But that sort of stuff. Some of the other problems that I find is the content just generally doesn't stand out. A lot of people do vlogs and that. We kind of do vlogs here, but we go out and about sometimes. We show off a little bit of gameplay footage. We do reviews and updates and that. So our channel is a little different. But I think a lot of people do genres that are very saturated. They sit there and they wonder, oh, geez, why am I not getting too many views in that? It's probably because it's not very entertaining, or it's not really standing out, or it's not that exciting for that. I see on a lot of Facebook groups and things like that, a lot of subs begging, or just people saying, you know, how do I get a video to get more views and things like that? Or can you look at my new video and tell me what you think? Or give it a like or a sub. What none of the small YouTubers do is actually work on the content. Because if a video is not getting views, or it's not getting comments, or it's doing really, really poorly, then maybe the content is just shit. maybe it's just not good enough. And what they need to do is, when I started up my channel, was I looked at the branding and the logo. We had the logo from 2012, so I had a little bit of an advantage there. So I stuck up the branding. I made sure there was a Twitter page for it and a Facebook page, so there was ways of people to discover the social network stuff. We didn't start doing 6 different things at once like small YouTubers tend to do. They like to do vlogs or a bit of music or a little bit of... It's all sort of scattered around and it doesn't look very good in the end. And I sort of worked piece by piece. I did a review of the channel from last year. And some of the successful things was doing unboxings and video game reviews and that. So we looked at those numbers and we looked at the watch time was good and people were watching it. So I'm deciding to continue on with that sort of content for this year. And we also looked at certain subjects, such as Pokemon is very popular on the channel. Mario Odyssey was a big success because we built a campaign around that to review the Cappy Hat and do the game review and do a couple funny videos with the Cappy Hat sort of thing. And it went really well because I knew that most people would have done a review of Super Mario Odyssey, but they wouldn't have reviewed the Cappy Hats or things like that. And they got a couple thousand views and did really well. So you've got to look outside the box and look at what's the type of content that people don't do as much as others. And I think the problem is a lot of small YouTubers just go straight to vlogs, or they do family type stuff, or they do just gameplay footage of just, maybe a voice in the background, but it's all very generic in that. The other thing is that you do need to invest some sort of money if you do actually want to make money on YouTube, and those chances are pretty small and remote at this stage. Is my suggestion is that you do need to invest a little bit of money into it. I mean, get someone to help with a logo or a banner, things like that. I've seen some small YouTubers try to do it. They use a little bit of Photoshop, or they use a free online service. And I think that just magnifies the fact that you are a small YouTuber and you don't really have much there. You do need to be creative with what you've got, but you also do need to put a little bit of money into the channel. Look at the branding, the logos, look at your thumbnails and how that looks. I mean, our thumbnails here aren't that particularly crash hot at times, but we try to do the best with it. I think it's been successful since we implemented that in early 2016 and within the end of 2015. So those are some of the reviews, and some of my end of year reviews go on for about a week straight. I'm just looking at numbers for a few hours a day. I'm looking at the type of videos that's doing well. I look at the analytics, which is the YouTube Studio amp. Do buy it, do get it, and download it on your phone. So, for example, you can look at the discoverability on the amp. So, I look at the traffic sources. The third biggest one is from my website, NintendoEngineers.com, because that brings in a fair bit of traffic. It brings in more traffic than Facebook because it's an actual website that people can click on and watch the videos and do things well like that. You can look for search terms that are popular on your channel. My top search term was Toad Sings Jump Up Superstar. We put up a funny 1-minute video that we found online, and yes, I didn't make the video, but sometimes I do upload trailers of games and funny things just to sort of break up the monotonous sort of, everyday news stuff and reviews and that. Just something a little different, a little bit of fun. You can also look at the top playlists that are playing from your channel, which is helpful too. The audience is very interesting. You can look at the gender, is your crowd mainly male or female? Look at your ages. My ages are mainly between 18 to 44. But even looking at the numbers, there's actually a bit of an audience for the 45 to 54-year-olds, which are much older than me in some respects, which is something that I don't really think of. Now, you can look at your top countries. You can look at, America and Australia are the biggest bases for myself, following by United Kingdom, Canada, and Germany. So you could upload your videos just when America is waking up or during their nighttime when they're catching up on YouTube after work. And that is something that you would need to look at if you want to continue to build your YouTube channels and that. So really overall, I think small YouTubers need to, well, stop begging for subs and views, start working on the content and how you can sort of stand out from it, invest a bit of money into your channel. Make sure you actually have a friggin' plan before you start a YouTube channel, because if you don't, you're going to suffer. And make sure you actually work on the social media. Just don't go to the Facebook groups or online and go, well, geez, no one watches my videos because... And then I critique some of these channels and I go, you don't have a Facebook profile. Your Twitter is just you posting videos without any comments or any interaction. You don't have an Instagram. You're not really making the effort. So, and I think a lot of small YouTubers, they start to realize, oh geez, I need to pay a bit of money for this, for the microphone and camera. I've got to put work into thumbnails. And they start to realize how much work is involved in doing a YouTube channel. Some of them give up, some of them get inspired by it, and others are like, oh geez, I don't really want to do all that work. And they're the same people that want to make money on YouTube, is that they're sort of like, well, I don't want to really invest anything in the YouTube channel. I just want to upload videos and just earn money, you know. But it's going to require work. So I ran out of things to say. If you do have any questions or comments, do put them in the YouTube comments, because I will likely reply to them there. So it'll be very, very interesting. So that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.